I have been drinking celery juice for the last 7 years, and during that time I have drank over 1300 liters or 343 gallons of freshly squeezed celery juice. Yep, every morning. And here are 5 major lessons that I've learned during this time. Lesson number 1 is connected with my stomach and digestive system. When I first started with celery juice 7 years ago, I found myself visiting the bathroom many times more than I was used to. Not only going for number 1, but also more frequently for number 2. And I gotta say, I was a bit surprised what was coming out of my body and digestive system. And later I learned that celery juice is basically cleaning out old trash from your body, old fats, rotten foods, toxins, etc. It's good that it's coming out of your body, but it wasn't so pleasant in the first weeks when I started with the celery juice. But after a couple of weeks, the situation more or less normalized. Now, 7 years later, everything is very predictable and stable. Yes, I still have to go to the bathroom very frequently, and that's actually a good sign. It means that you are hydrated. But there are no surprises with number 2s anymore. Everything is normal. Nowadays I can even drink 64 ounces of celery juice without a problem. But my typical amount is 24 ounces of celery juice every morning. So lesson number 1 is that celery juice is a master cleaner of the digestive system. But don't be discouraged at the start, when the old rancid oils, fats and rotten foods that have been stuck there for ages are coming out. The rubbish will eventually clean up. Celery juice is here to help clean up the mess in your stomach and digestive system. Lesson number 2 comes from my good friend. He's a man in his 60s, and when he found celery juice and medical medium information, he quickly adopted it. Only after 6 months of drinking celery juice every day and making some small tweaks in his diet, he got rid of his psoriasis. He got such a quick results from that. The lesson I learned was that many skin conditions, which are usually connected with the liver, can be quickly healed using celery juice. Because celery juice is a master liver cleanser also. And when toxins and pathogens are getting cleaned out from your body starts healing itself. Some skin conditions are quick to heal. If you are serious and want to try it out yourself, I recommend reading straight from the source, from Medical Medium, from Anthony William. He has published over 10 books and counting, and if English is not your first language, they are pretty well translated into other languages as well. So who is Anthony William? Anthony William is a chronic illness expert, originator of the global celery juice movement, and the New York Times best-selling author. He has a unique ability to hear information from Spirit of Compassion, where all this information originates. Spirit of Compassion, or SOC for short, provides Anthony with advanced healing information that's far ahead of its time. Many actors, athletes, models, and other famous people use medical medium information to keep themselves or their families healthy, vital, and beautiful. Anthony William has been openly endorsed by people like Sylvester Stallone, Adam Sandler, Pharrell Williams, Robert De Niro, Tony Robbins, Hilary Swank, and others. That's Anthony William in one paragraph for you. The third lesson comes from an unexpected place. Each time I go to the supermarket to buy celery, whether it is in my local area or in other cities or even in other countries, I found that the amount of celery that is stocked up on the shelves is very significant. I'm not kidding. I have seen a couple hundred celery bunches all on one shelf at once. In my mind, it shows that the sales of celery juice are going great. The demand is high, and that there are a lot more people interested in celery juicing than you would expect. Funny enough, I have met new people in the celery juice aisle, and with some of them I'm still talking to this day. Anthony says that there are millions and millions of people who drink celery juice regularly, but most of them never mention the commitment anywhere publicly. According to Medical Medium, even many doctors, podcast doctors, and health influencers use Medical Medium info and drink celery juice for their personal health issues, but rarely do they mention it publicly. So the third lesson is that celery juice and medical medium info are actually more popular than I thought, but most people rarely openly admit that they are drinking celery juice or using other medical medium information. The fourth lesson comes from my garden. I have grown celery for many years now during summer. I live in Estonia and summers here are very short, so I get to harvest celery from start of July till October. Every year I improve my skills as a celery grower, and if you are new to gardening like I was 6 years ago, then starting with celery was very difficult. But I learned and acquired new skills along the way. I even calculated it financially. Is it worth it if you account for all the expenses and all the time invested into the project of growing celery? For example, I use smart irrigation system, which are not very expensive. I practice permaculture principles with mulching and everything, and I'm not doing it on a very small scale either. Each year I have planted anywhere between 250 and up to 400 plants. And I can say with 100% certainty, it's cheaper to grow your own organic celery than buying organic celery from the store. And yes, my time has also been taken into account. That is achievable because the only time-consuming part of this project is setting the system up and planting in the spring. After the initial phase, celery is very low maintenance, at least in my garden. So the fourth lesson I learned is that growing your own celery, when you have space for it, is a soul-filling way to connect with your food and save a little bit of cash on your weekly celery bills. And the fifth lesson speaks straight to my mind. After 2020, after the plague, the world hasn't stopped coming up with existential problems. Also, there is this social media thing that is consuming our minds, all of our free time. It's hard not to be affected by these things. It's hard not to be consumed by doom scrolling. It takes a strong will, a healthy mind, and a great character to stand up against those things. But funny enough, celery juice has helped me with those problems too. Not that drinking celery juice will solve a conflict in some other country, but the mineral salts make my brain and my mind healthier so that they can withstand those uncertainties. And on top of that, drinking celery juice is a routine that calms my mind. During these 7 years, my morning routine of drinking celery juice has stayed unchanged. My mind is like, oh, this crazy thing is happening over there. Oh no, this thing is happening at the work. Oh no, this close relationship is not working as it's supposed to do. But after a good night's sleep, when I wake up, I have my celery juice and I can start on a fresh note each day. I couldn't imagine living without a healthy, supportive morning routine. It gives a certain vibe, a clear focus for the whole day. My morning routine on most days is the morning cleanse by Anthony William. So there you go, my 5 lessons from drinking celery juice for the past 7 years. If you want to stay connected with me and not rely on algorithms to recommend my videos, then subscribe to my newsletter where I share my other knowledge and wisdom with you freely. The link is in the description. Bless your soul. Have a nice day. Bye.